Welcome to the series of interviews for the AgroSeller project. Our guest today is Carmit Oron from the Women of Agri-Food Nation competition. Thank you for joining us in this series of interviews for the AgroSeller project. How are you, Carmit?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking. I'm very good.
That's great. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Can you tell us about this initiative, the Women in Agri-Food Nation competition?
Yeah, so I was approached. I'm actually, in my previous role, today I'm the CEO at Salicra. But in my previous role, I was working closely with startups and building their go-to-market strategy. And when I was working with startups, I've seen that many of the people that approached me were women that needed some support and help. And I saw great ideas, great women entrepreneurs, but they were missing a lot of the, the strategy and the economics, and they had a great technology, but are missing a very important part, which is the business part. And then, and many of them were early stage and looking to raise capital. So I came up with this idea where those women can be on one stage. It can give them a lot of, exposure. And if I can take a group of 6 women every year and work with them on their business model, together with many, many ecosystem partners in Israel, and build, a very strong network of partners who can support each one of them, it will really shortcut. It would be a huge, amazing shortcut for them. So I came up with this idea when I met one of my co-founders, this Ohad Zuckerman, and I told him, okay, you have a fund. I need $200,000 for this competition. Are you with me? He said, yes. Then we started screening we called for women-led ventures. We've accepted many applications. And we have picked in the first year 6 in food innovation, had really disruptive technologies. And we offer them to work closely with them. For them, it didn't cost any cent. To work closely with them, with a very, very smart group of people, to build their business and to really shape whatever they have to offer to the world. They were happy with this. We were working with each one for 3 months. And then they went on stage. The winner got an opportunity and actually won an opportunity to get an investment of $200,000. So the benefit was not only the, the winning of this, but the whole, let's say, journey. And the journey is working with the leaders of the market, getting to know, making a network, building a strong positioning for the startup by getting a lot of exposure by social media, as well as building a very strong business model that will really be a strong business model that will work well for them and will help them raise funding. So it's not only the person who wins the competition, but each one of them wins a lot. So it's great friendship between one to each other. It's getting to know great leaders of the market, getting to know investors, being exposed to opportunities inside of Israel and outside of Israel. And it really builds their, motivation. So I started this the first year, and then we saw it was amazing, and we got amazing feedbacks. So I kept on with this, and I'm very enthusiastic to do this year as well. So I'm really looking forward to do Women of Agri-Food Nation competition June this year.
Great. That's actually a very good initiative for women, especially. So how did the idea started? What problem is it solving? Oh, you already mentioned something about it, but can you maybe tell us a little bit more?
I think specifically in Israel, men are much more, have those friends from the army, and they feel very comfortable to call each other and to consult, and and women has less networking, let's say, opportunities. And for me, what I was thinking about is if somebody could just push them. This is great startup. If somebody could just polish this and just push them very strongly into the market, into the hands of the investors, and help them, raise the first capital and make them shine. There's a lot of potential, but it's like a lost potential. And I told myself, we're just talking about the numbers that are low. What if I can make those numbers get better by just supporting the women that already started this journey? How can I support them to continue this journey? And I was saying, okay, let's just take a group of 6 and make sure that those 6 have, all the opportunities, and we can just maximize those opportunities and make it happen. And amazingly to see, I'm actually I'm connected to each one of them. Amazing things happened in the last 2 years for the 12 women that that actually participated in the competition. Really amazing. I mean, one of them just did IPO. Many of them raised capital, and they keep on pinging me and sending me SMSs about their progress. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud that 2 years ago they had nothing. Today they have so much.
Okay, so that was related actually to our next question. What was the impact that the development of this competition has had on its participant and also in the general population of women in Israel?
So I think 9 out of the 12 that were participating had done amazingly. Some of them were under the radar. And what this competition did is actually putting them in the center and helping them get recognition and appreciation, and eventually to develop themselves well. So each one of them made an enormous progress. They're very active, they raised money, they raised, their teams, they grow them. One of them even did an IPO in Israel. So for me, any support for any women, even if it's one, it's important. So every startup that is led by women counts. It's important. We see that because we have a group that started in 2015 of women entrepreneurs, women CEOs of startups, and we see the conversation in the group, and we see this, let's say, community of women, how amazing and supportive they are to each other, and we need to continue and pursue those opportunities. Each one of us, not only me. Anytime I meet strong women, I tell her, you have to do something for this community, because this is the way we're going to change the numbers. It all starts bottom up. Each one of us has to take some kind of an action, because we cannot only talk about the numbers. Each one of us has to wake up in the morning and say, I'm a woman entrepreneur. I need help. How can I help others as well? So this is the way I think about it.
Yeah, actually, it's a very nice way to think how you can contribute back to the community also, and especially women, because they are like a lower actor. An actor that is not very much represented in the agricultural field, that is controlled mostly by men. So actually, it's a very good initiative what you are guys doing with the.
It's not only in agriculture, I must say. It's not only in agriculture, because there's a Harvard research that was done like a few years ago, and said that because of the misrepresentation of women also in decision making in VCs, it was also impacting on the way that those ventures led by women were funded. So they were, less funded because the people who gave the money were men, and they were, biased in their way of investing in startups. And it really, for years, we've seen that although diverse teams with women bring much more, increase of so many parameters, specifically of sales and growth of 30%, they were less funded. So the change has to come from, of course, from bottom up, that we will encourage more women to take a step and to go forward and to open startups, but at the same time to make sure that decision-making is done by women, not only by men, and that the men understand the diversity issue and make sure they invest more money in women-led ventures.
Yeah. So finally, from your personal experience, what advice will you give to a woman who wants to get started in the agribusiness?
I would say, don't be afraid. The sky is your limit. Be persistent, because this is the key for success. You believe in yourself, you would be, you'll be successful eventually. But there's so many doubts that we bring to the table as women that are not there when you talk to a guy, although he opened 5 and I meet so many guys that he started so many ventures and closed them and whatever, and he raised $10 million in 3 and 4, and he was failing again and again and again. but it didn't change his mind or his perception about himself. And we have to put it aside. We have to make sure that we understand that the journey also has some, you know, it's going to be hard. Sometimes we're going to fail, but it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay, but not doing so, not pursuing your dream. You know, it's for me, it's too much comfort zone. I believe in seeing how we can actually achieve so much more than what we think. And sometimes just it's in ourselves. I mean, as women, we're not appreciating our power enough. And we have to be very bold in the way we want to achieve things. And we have to step up and just demand whatever we think that we deserve to.
Yeah, maybe just lack of confidence, what's going on.
But definitely my advice will be bold, be brave, be consistent. You will succeed.
Okay, so one last question that was missing from the list. Is there any government initiatives in Israel that support the development of women in agribusiness?
Yeah, today the Innovation Authority actually gives us different programs, but if you're an R&D program, you would get 70% funding for your R&D expenses. So usually a startup can get up to 50, but if you're a startup led by women, you can get up to 70%. So this is a specific, but you know, today in the last 2 years, there's so many initiatives and competitions and VCs that are led by women, and initiatives by so many amazing organizations that are supporting more and more women in this category. So you know, I think the last 2 years has actually been impressive in the way that the you know, organizations like McKinsey and the leading banks of Israel and the Innovation Authority and so many you know, leading organization, key players in the market are looking to support women. So it's definitely a very supportive environment. Yeah.
That's great. In Chile, we also have some initiatives that give women more protagonist in the funding session. So we hope someday we'll see a woman in agri-food nation here in Chile too.
So I'm so proud of this. And if you want to initiate that in Chile, I'll be very happy to help you with this.
Yeah, we already have the contact of Carmit in Iran, so we can follow the example. Thank you very much, Carmit, for your experience. I'm sure that many women are going to be very interested in this interview, especially because you know you don't always see initiatives exclusively for women, especially in the agricultural field. So. We're going to see how much this interview impacts those women who are actually thinking about starting a business in this field, and they're going to get that push.
So if you are a woman, if you are thinking about us, follow me on LinkedIn, write me. I'm always answering all the messages. If you have any doubt, any problem, any support you need, any introduction, I'll be happy to help.
We're going to share your information, maybe if you have any.
Go ahead, share it. I'll be happy to answer any email, any message, and see more and more women step in and step forward and are going to be in a leading position, because we have our daughters to give example to. So this is each one of us needs to think about their own circles and understand that we're not opening doors for ourselves. We're just, you know, giving example for the next generation.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmit. Have a great day. And as I told you, this interview is going to be recorded and then broadcasted. And as soon as it's get out, we're going to let you know so you can check it out and let us know what you think.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.